Hello everybody, I'm Dan Elzer. Welcome to Zap-TV. It's March's edition. Before we get into it, I want to talk to you about how we use the system. I know most of you have been involved in the studio and how we work, but how to use this system, I want to make sure everybody's clear on. First, I want to make sure that you get your phones out. Buddy's going to bring up a number here for you. Get this into your phone, 321-300-7759. That is the text app. That's how you're going to be able to talk to Wayne and I. Treat it as if you are saying hi, asking a question, challenges, whatever you want to do to make sure that we're able to address any of your concerns or questions. Plus, if you're sitting there with a group, give us a shout out. Tell us who you are and where you're watching the show from. Second thing, I want to make sure that you know that this is going to be recorded, or it is being recorded. So within 48 hours, this is going to be up on this site for you to either rewatch, or if people missed it, you can direct them to it so they can see what Zap was about today. And the third thing, turn on Zap. Get your laptops out, sign into Zap. There's no better way to learn how to get better at this than follow keystroke by keystroke and make sure that you know what you're doing. Okay, so without any delay, I want to welcome Wayne, my co-host, to the show.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing awesome. Hey, buddy, can you switch the PowerPoint? So, March's show, I want to talk about the theme today a little bit, and that's using Zap to turn contacts into clients. We're really trying to focus today on that conversion to make sure that we're not just passively using this thing. We actually turn it into people that are going to make us money.
Make money, make more money. Absolutely.
But before I let you get into that, we got people coming in. Hang on a second here. Hello from Texas. Hello from don't know where. Bakersfield. Hey.
Oh, Watson.
Welcome, hello.
Watson. That's awesome.
Raleigh.
Triangle
Real Estate Group. All right.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys for taking the time.
So that's what our theme is going to be. But before we get into that, as always, I want you to take us through the latest Zap updates. And we've got two really cool things to talk about today. So take it away. Yep. What's happening in Zap?
So just a couple things. I mean, just like we always say, I strongly encourage you guys to check out the community. Or make sure you pay attention to some emails that are coming out that give us these updates, because this is just a couple of some really good ones that are making this platform just better and better for us as agents. So the first one, just something simple but easy, making it easier for us to make sure our dashboard is cleaned up. And they're doing a lot of work to this dashboard in the coming months to make it just that much easier for us, more user friendly. So I'm going to go live for just a second and show you that when we have a, just some tasks on our dashboard, let me make sure I'm logged in. And I'll bring my computer up, buddy. So,
let's give him a sec. Hey, some more shout outs. New Jersey, hello.
Holy cow, look at them all. I love it.
Wayne's Haircut. Love Wayne's Haircut from Texas.
That had to be some of the
iRealty. Snowing in Jersey.
Oh, iRealty.
Clark Summit, PA, and Donahoe, Joni.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Nice. Welcome in California. So, so welcome all you guys. Can't wait to come see some of you guys soon. So, just something simple for us. When we see these tasks, we used to have to actually click on the task and view the details and kind of go through a process to just say, you know what, I want to mark it complete. I just want it off of my screen. So just know that if I click this actions button on the right hand side, I have two options. I could actually view the details. So if I did need to see the request for info from Chris, then I could view it. But very simple, I can just actually now just mark it complete right from this screen, and you will see it comes off my task. So absolutely love it. The easiest way to just clear them up.
So that action tab, that's what's new?
Yes. Well, the actions tab, there was always a tab there, but it was like view details, and you kind of had to go in there through a process to like I dealt with Greg. I want it off my screen now, so I dealt with him, the best way I could. So now we have that actions button. That's just an easier process for us to clean that up.
So it makes it easier, makes it simpler to use, saves time.
Absolutely.
Don't have to get in the weeds.
Yep, absolutely.
Got to keep going, man. Shout out from Erie Central. Hey, folks.
Oh, there's some snow.
Glendora, California.
Nice.
Plano, Texas. Home run. Hey, just south of us. Hey, guys, they're down in Miami, Fort Myers area, Fort Lauderdale area. And well, son of a gun, Team VP.
Oh, that's my peeps.
There's your peeps, man.
Yeah. So welcome Denise in the group in Warren. So love it.
Awesome. Okay, so that was one. Just making life a little easier. They're paying attention. The second one I think is really important. You guys want to pay attention to this one. Explain what was happening and how they've made it better.
So you can actually come back to us, buddy. We talk about the reviews and
the importance of them.
the importance of them. Obviously, changing our website, but we're actually ranked at the national level by the number of reviews. So if you hit find an agent, or just basically go to find an agent in a zip code in a town, those agents were ranked previously by rating. So what we were seeing over and over is that. A group of, there'd be an agent at the very top with 1 or 2 reviews,
right,
both 5 stars. Yet we would have an agent with 30 reviews. That's 4.8. Still a very solid ranking. Down, 3 or 4, or even further down.
So make sure we understand here. So I could be out there with 30 reviews, all 5s. I'd be at the top. But if I got a 4 all of a sudden, so I'm now 4.89. Someone with 2 reviews that were 5s would be over me.
Correct.
And so that really wasn't a clear view of the effort put in by the agent to get reviews.
Yeah, if we know that people are paying attention to those reviews. I love that there are people with 2 reviews and 5 stars. But if I'm looking for an agent to work with me, and there's an agent with 30 reviews that's 4.8. I want to at least know that agent exists without scrolling down through. So
gotcha.
the change we made at the level, at the corporate level, is that is now the default ranking is the number of reviews. So giving the consumer the option to see who has the most reviews, and then decide from there, who they want to work with.
But it's also rewarding you folks doing what we're talking about. If you're requesting at the end of that transaction, you're requesting the review, and you've got those reviews coming in. You're doing it right. And so I think what they did was proper in making sure that if people are doing what we're asking, leveraging Zap, they're going to get the reward. And folks, at the end of the day, I've said it, you've heard me talk about it, you've seen Wayne out in the field talking about it. At the end of the day, this is an amazing assistant to you that can drive business and create opportunity, which today we're talking about that conversion.
Absolutely.
Got to keep going. Plano, guys, just so you know, Plano's out there claiming, but they're the best, and they love his haircut. Miami-Dade, hey, down at Dade Realty, my buddy down there. Paul, statewide in Jersey, it's snowing. And Debbie Smith, hey Debbie.
Oh, hey Debbie.
So those 2 things are, and there's others, but those were the 2 that we really wanted to focus on for people to understand.
And I'm going to throw one more in there.
Okay.
And we've never officially talked about it here, but the team piece is available. It's available at the ERA level. So we delayed that a little bit. We had to fix some things for ERA, but it is available. So definitely wanted to make sure you guys know if you have a team that the piece is out there for you to start working with. Still taking ideas and suggestions and comments on that to continue to make that better for us.
Got a question. They've been shout outs, and now we got a question. Can you request a review from a previous client or business associate that are not entered as a contact in Zap?
No, we actually have to have them as a contact, so that is how that starts. And the fact is that we know that we can actually enter anybody in Zap and ask them for a review. So past clients, of course, they're perfect, they're gold. But yet, just know that we can ask that current client. We can ask a banker we just did a deal with. Anybody that can be a true representative of who you are as a professional real estate agent. So definitely would want to add those people in there. Just a quick, I kind of get a little, I know why that was asked is, know that you can add people in your database and they're not going to get hit with a bunch of emails. So
which we talked about last month.
So add the people in there and just know, nothing has to happen with them, but you can add them in there and they'll be in your system, but ask them for.
Well, let me take that one step further. Like you said, nothing has to happen to them, but if this is a past person that you've done business with that's worthy of asking for a review, I'd want them on a follow-up plan as a post-client, so we have that next opportunity. Hey, Plano, I'm getting a little bummed here. You keep talking about his hair. What about mine? And hey, George down Miami-Dade, and Linda, Top Gunner.
Nice.
Awesome, from Home Run Realty. Okay,
Right.
Home Run
Thank you
Realty.
guys. That's so cool to just hear you guys.
Yeah,
That's
keep them
so
coming.
Cool.
So there's our update. Teams, a little more simpler on the dashboard, and getting the rankings where basically you're being rewarded for what we do.
But check out all the other reviews because they're nonstop, and the review of the update that's coming soon is just as good. So good stuff coming.
Okay, folks, now, day in the life of a Zap agent. Again, our theme is taking contacts to clients, turning them into people that we're doing business with. So I want to hit Wayne with a couple questions here, see how he deals with them. We know at the end of the day, our goal is to be better at implementing. Can we agree with that?
Absolutely.
When we come out and meet with you folks and talk with you, I over and over again hear, God, if we just implemented better, So to be able to implement, give me two baseline, foundational things that need to be in place for what we're going to talk about today to matter.
Yeah, so when we talk about, contacts to clients, one of the first things as far as Zap goes before we get deeper is the website. You all have an active website that's up and running. We know the traffic to ERA.com, continues to increase the traffic, folks finding that site. They will make their way down to the agents. So, to the agents' websites, because they get ERA.com just sends them to properties or agents. So, that website is so powerful for us. Take the time to go in there if you have not, and make sure that's updated and
so that goes back to the last show we had.
Yeah.
Like the SEO playbook.
The SEO,
you got to finish
SEO
filling out
piece
all
of
that
it.
stuff, or you look like you're not really engaged.
Absolutely.
So get it telling the story. Okay. Second thing.
Second piece is adding contacts. So I briefly talked about it a second ago, adding people in, but to fully, to turn a contact into a client, the contact has to be in your database. If we think that a contact that I met and maybe is in my phone or maybe here or maybe there will turn into a client, it's going to be a lot harder. If they're in your database and then we do the things we're going to talk about in the next half an hour, that's where we turn contacts into clients. So friends, family, past coworkers,
acquaintances,
and then current clients and past clients. Everybody you know.
Sounds like beating a dead horse here. We keep saying, get the contacts in, get the contacts in. Some of you I've shared this with, I know Wayne has. If you have contacts that are not in your Zap, not in the CRM, then they're doing nothing for you. They do nothing incubating on your desk. They do nothing incubating in a file. So they've got to get in there. So again, one bite at a time, like the elephant. But if you don't have the time or the skill set to quickly input some manual inputs, think about finding a high school kid or a college. They type at a gazillion mile an hour right now. And you could pay them, I could pay someone $10 an hour and $40 later, have a couple hundred clients probably into my database that I can then go attack 5 at a time and get set up properly.
Correct.
Because they're already in there. Is that a fair
That's
statement?
exactly what we want to do.
Okay, question for you. First of all, shout outs again. Liz, Top Gunner, Home Run again, and Palm Beach Gardens, Maria, good to see you. And then we had a question from Laura. Can you send a request for review to more than one contact at a time in bulk?
Right now we can't. And it's really designed it's designed that way for a certain reason. If I sent 100 generic emails, we would expect to potentially we'd be lucky if we got 3 or 4 of them back. Personally, I've seen 100% return rate when we do it individually. So strongly encourage you. I love the reviews. One of my favorite parts, the SEO ability, ranking at the national level, unbelievable. Take the time to reach out to the person that you're going to send that to, and you know how you can do that. Call, email, text. You know that person, but ask. Make sure they know. Hey, I'm going to send this. It'd be really appreciated if you took a minute to do it. you're going to get a lot better response. The reviews will be a lot more favorable. They're going to write a little bit more when it's a little bit more personal. So that's what I would strongly suggest is doing. They are made to be individual, but that's the reason.
In other words, no.
Yeah, that's a little bit longer, a little longer no than.
See, the person, I know,
so.
whoever asked that question out there, you were going, make it easier, make it easier.
Yeah.
And Wayne was being nice and making it not easy for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so we got 3 areas we want to look at in the day in the life of a Zap agent. Hey, Al, down in South Florida, sunny South Florida.
Yeah, some people in Jersey don't want to
hear that
anything
sunny
about
stuff,
sun
yeah.
and 70 degrees. So.
Okay, so the first one we want to look at, and keep the stuff coming, guys. I'll sort through it. Listing alerts. Now, remember, the theme, folks, is contacts to clients. So listing alerts we've talked about before. So let's comment on how they become contacts to clients. Show us again where they are. We'll go live with that. And then we can wrap it up on how we can make sure that happens.
Yeah, so I mean, very simple listing alerts. Just know that obviously we meet someone that is very outright and says, hey, I want 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Asks about set me up on listing alerts. They're no-brainers to put in the system. We can also do it for any contact in our database. If someone asked a question about a house and that's not the right one, we can set them up on a listing alert. So that so a lot of contacts may need this touch. Listing alerts is one of the ways we can touch those folks. Obviously, we're giving them information that they want. We're showing we're experts. Like, here's everything.
Right.
We have the direct IDX feed from the MLS, so it's essentially just like you're sending the MLS sheet. We're able to do it in Zap, and then be able to do a lot of things after we set that up.
Okay, so what you're saying again is if I set this up and I claim that, hey, I ran into Wayne, he doesn't need anything right now, but I think if I hit him with some listing alerts, it might spark something in him. I put you on the listing alerts, and once I do that, I don't have to do anything else but monitor your reaction to that.
Yep. Just monitor.
Wow, you mean,
monitor,
so it will do my little prospecting for me.
Okay. Prospecting 101.
Show us how we get there and what we do.
All right.
with it.
So yeah, I think we've done this before, but I'm going to quick show you how easy it is to actually set up a contact on a listing alert. So if I just pull up any contact in my database, again, they have to be in your database, but once they're in there, however they've gone in, I've added them, or they came in via a lead generation piece. They're in my database, and I know, I'm going to say I know what Wayne and Mindy are looking for, so I want to set up a listing alert for them. So all I have to do is hit this More button next to log a call, send an email, and you will see the first button under Other, the first tag is Sign in as Contact. So when I click that, I am actually signed in, I'm Al the agent, signed in as Wayne, my client, and I want to set them up on a listing alert. And I'm going to keep this very simple, but obviously if I hit this More filters right here, I could, if I'm setting this up for a true client, I'm going to make sure price and bedrooms and baths are all, exactly what they want. I'm going to very simply just do one zip code and do a search. We can do multiple zip codes with just a comma, but I'm going to keep it simple. And when I do that, you'll see 44 properties come up. I just have to push one button to get this listing alert set up and then get every single listing that hits the MLS multiple times a day. And that is simply this red recommend search button. So I did a search, whatever the property, whatever the search came up with, however many properties, if I hit this recommend search button, I will type a message in there. What's going to happen is the client is going to get a list of every single property that's currently available and then kept up to date multiple times a day with anything else that hits the market. And then I hit email this recommendation, and I can, sort of slap my hands together and say, Wayne is going to get contact from me, could be every day, but at least anytime a listing hits that market. And I'm just going to sit back and now wait and see what his reaction is.
Okay, got a couple questions, but I want to ask one first. So once I've put that out there, as you've said before, and you can come back to us, but as you've said before to us in previous shows, someone could request that they start getting that. They can come back to you and say, hey, can you change it? Can you give me more? Right? So that can be a contact coming back to you.
Absolutely.
When that happens, going back to our theme, contacts the clients, do not forget about getting live.
Yeah.
This just gave you that opportunity. You come back to me and say, hey, Dan, can you give me zip code 14725 also? There's a reason that you requested that. Most agents, by far, will go, sure, and add that extra zip code. There's a reason that that person requested it. Zap just generated an opportunity for you. Now you just have to make sure you convert. And it's a simple technique. It's, hey, Wayne, I'd be happy to do that for you. I'd love to get together and find out what your needs are so I make sure I'm sending you exactly, can we get together here or is this better? Now I go from a passive to an active, right?
Yes. Yeah, why did you ask for that? What else can I fix for you? But having that conversation, of course, if you make the change, they'll be happy, but great opportunity to take it to the next level.
Okay, couple questions. One, do you need the permission of the person to sign them up for a listing alert?
No, actually, I mean, they can easily shut that off. They can say, I don't want it from the start, so you won't be able to. But strongly suggest that if you get somebody that asks, just, hey, can you send me this listing home detail page for 123 Main, here's the price. Send it to them. Often would love to just go right in, set a listing alert up for them. Start with the zip code, start with a general price range, start with bedrooms, bath, and start them getting something. Often you will hear back, thank you for that, or thank you for that, but can we change it? Like, it's really not what I'm looking for. I like that one house, but I prefer this. So again, an opportunity to go, oh yes, let's talk and get a little deeper with it. But you do not have to. They don't have to say, can you set me up, for us to actually go ahead and start doing it.
Okay, Kelly, I'm going to get to yours in just a second here. Here's one. Are there plans to make email or phone number required, I think to not make it required, to enter a Zap contact? Some of my older clients don't have email. So
the first piece is it is one, especially if you do a bulk upload. If you do a bulk upload with those older, the ones that may not have an email or you don't have a phone number, you can actually, the bulk email will allow you to do one or the other. Again, strongly suggest that, if any of them do have email, you go out and try to find that, because that's, just another option for you to reach out to them. But if you do all of those folks in a bulk, you can just have their phone number, so at least they get in there.
Okay, next one. When our client gets the notification, I guess on the listing alert, do we get notified?
We can actually blind copy ourselves.
Okay.
So we can actually CC another person or blind copy us.
Okay. We're going to get to Karen. We'll get to the mobile app. Asking, can we recommend a search through the mobile app? We'll address that. Can you expand search area by X amount of miles?
Yeah, there is actually a point where you can actually say, I want to be a quarter of a mile around a certain address, or 5 miles.
So yes.
Or a point. I want to, from this school, from this shopping mall, I want to be 5 miles.
And that's
around.
in the
that's just in the
search
filter, in the filters piece.
Okay.
Good question.
If we have a client that returned a closing survey after a closing, can we add it to Zap? So I guess that's getting like one of the paper surveys back or something.
Yeah, so unfortunately we don't, right now, the two are separate, so we would have to ask for a review from Zap as well. We can take some steps to make that easier for that client, but we do have to ask for them separately.
And in that situation, don't think of it as a bad thing. Wayne sent me one through either the one that was mailed through ERA or some other source. I get back a paper response where he's very happy. Don't think of it as I'm going to bother him to go, hey, can you send a review? So before I hit send a review to him through Zap, I'd pick up the phone and call him, thank him for the great review, and say, since more people have moved into the digital world, would you be up to doing one for me through my website? And if he says yes, I send that review. We had that conversation. I look at it as an opportunity to have a touch with the client for a purpose, instead of us having always that fear that, oh, what should I say? What should I do? It just gives you another opportunity to reach out.
Yep. And I get, we could ask one person for 10 different reviews. I get it. So, but sometimes it's important.
Can the contacts set up their own search?
Yes. Yeah, it's so easy for them to, go to my website, log in, in whatever search you do, it will say, do you want to save this? So simple for them to do that same exact process. Ours says recommend search, theirs says save search.
Okay, Kara, I don't know how this one will go, Kara. Why can't listing alert emails count as a compliance follow-up? And then we got to move on, guys, to the next.
Yeah, I don't, that's a good question, a great question for the community. Is it truly a touch from you? I mean, technically it is, so great question for the community. I don't really have an answer for that, but would be a good question in the community to see what other support other agents gave it. So strongly suggest you go to the community and post that.
Awesome. Okay. Next one, converting. We talk about follow-up plans. Now, again, we've talked about those a lot, but talk about, again, how does this put us in the position to go from contact to client? And where do we go and what do we do?
So this is part 2 of a way to stay in touch with a contact and just push them towards the client piece. So if it's a past client, you want to keep them a client. If they're a current client, you want to keep them a client. If they're a contact, you want to make them a client. Follow-up plans is another avenue for us to do that. So I'll simply go in and show you. We don't have time to go in too deep with them, but you could always hit the support button. There's an awesome Get Zapped webinar on follow-up plans. That's it for, I think it's either 60 minutes or 90 minutes, so it gets very deep in it and goes from start to finish. But I'm just going to show you where they are and kind of keep talking through, the process and how easy it is to use them. So if I'll go live, buddy, on my. So when I hit this manage button on the left-hand side, you're going to see that follow-up plans is one of the options. So when I click follow-up plans, there are a ton of follow-up plans here that I can use for my use, and I just keep scrolling down through, and the idea is I really need to find one of them that works for me.
Okay, so, let me stop you there. So going back to contact to client, we've done these before. Let me point it a different direction at you. I put somebody into my database. I have a client or contact that I want to try to find out. What's the process, and how would I look at these to assign? You follow what I'm saying there? Yeah. I'm the agent. I sat down. I got Wayne. I want to put him in here, and now I got to make sure I put him on a follow-up plan, or I'm going to forget about him.
Yeah. So it starts with entering Wayne, and then just really going, who is Wayne?
There you go.
How did I meet him? Is he he's past client. Oh, I don't really. He asked about a house. How do I know what he's doing? So kind of figuring out. Okay, here's Wayne. This is I need a buyer follow-up plan for him.
Okay.
That type of mentality. So I'm really just going to come in here, and I'm going to start, looking through these. But you're going to see that I just find one right away that says new buyer follow-up plan, and I'm like, instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to assign it, we just have to take a minute and just have to look at that and go, what's that follow-up plan say? Is it how I talk? Is it how I work? So if I hit the plus on the left-hand side, it expands out, and now I know, okay, there are 4 emails part of this follow-up plan. Does that work for me? I have to know if that works for me and my contact. Otherwise, I better not assign it.
So on this one, for instance, you got find a home you love, which is an email, a welcome email, how can I help you email, and then a scoping out the neighborhoods. Now, the question came in, how do I modify that, or a letter or an email that's in there? So can you show that?
So whether it's a follow-up plan or an email script in the library, if I expand it and go, man, that's pretty good, but I would tweak it a little bit. I would want to tweak it. I'll go back. Sorry, buddy. I was just. I just have. There's always a pencil on this right-hand side, and when I click this pencil, and this would be the same for an email script that's in the system, you will see at the very top it's created Alan's copy of that follow-up plan. Now I can scroll down through here. I can add steps to it and go, I need it longer. I can change, one of these has to be a phone call. One of them has to be a personal email. I want them all automated. I want them all personal. I want them all phone calls. Whatever it is, so I can change the script. I can change the method, email, personal, automated, or phone call, and I can add steps to make it not a month long. I can make it a year long.
So how do I edit the email that's in there?
So I can actually change so I can read the script and go, man, that's pretty good. I could actually change it and go, you know what, I really want it to say this instead. So I change the message, and then I can actually come over here and say, you know what, I want this one to be a phone call. And then just, and I can add a step to say, you know what, I want, a personal email added that says, and I'm just obviously grabbing.
You're grabbing pre-made ones.
Yeah.
So the question was, how do I edit that one? How do I edit that email? Was the question.
Oh, so the email script would be the same exact way as I'm changing this. So I could go into the email scripts, and there will be a pencil on the left-hand side that I can click to change the actual verbiage of an email. I actually just changed an email or a follow-up plan library.
Okay, if I want to create my own from scratch, where do I go?
Yep. So again,
another question that came in.
Click on follow-up plan. I don't even like any of them down here. It could be easier for me to write my own. I come up in this upper right-hand corner, add follow-up plan, and I am just creating one from scratch on my own.
And you just go right there, and then you just start one step at a time there.
Yep. Very simple. Just know that these things can be very simply done. We don't have to write paragraph after paragraph. Those email scripts that are part of your follow-up plan can be 1 or 2 sentences.
Awesome. Okay, so that was the second. The third thing to help convert, which we know is huge here, is analyzing that score. So you wake up in the morning, let's talk about how you analyze it, and what causes you to take action beyond just looking to make that conversion.
Yeah, so doing all of those things, I could do all of those things, and I would have to still wait for a contact to reach out to me. Like, I could send them emails, I could send listing alerts, and I still need to reach them to reach out to me, especially if you have hundreds of people in your database. Like, I can't just, I love the thought of randomly waking up, but with 800 people or 1,000 people, thinking, I'm going to call John today just to see what he's doing. Great concept, but can you really do it at a mass level? So the fact is, the Zap score helps us take all those listing alerts, all those follow-up plans, every email we send, any activity they're doing, and know who's doing what, so we know exactly who to reach out to. Who are our musts? Then I can actually take it to, I'm going to prospect for another hour and just call these 20 people to see what's up. But these people I have to start with.
Okay, so where do we begin on this?
So,
and then I know we're going to jump into the mobile because I got a bunch of questions for that.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm actually just going to click, so I'm going to go Live Buddy, and if I just click my contacts number, 790, the default ranking for those 790 people is Zap score. So all I have to do is very simply log in, hit the contacts button, and if I just hover over Zap scores, this will tell me exactly what folks are doing. And the concept here is, who do I need to reach out to? Who is doing something that needs my attention, not tomorrow, 5 minutes from now. And then I actually will scroll down through here, and this monitors who opens up emails, who's looking at houses. So follow-up plan, you opened an email, I know it. Listing alert, you opened the email that I sent you and you looked at 2 houses, I know that. And that's all I'm doing with this Zap score. And I'm just going to monitor as many folks as I need to. And then I'll actually just, it can be something as simple as opening an email, or opened an email and looked at 20 houses, and then you determine how you need to reach out to them. But it's definitely telling us reach out to them today, as soon as possible.
So the next, guys, and I'm trying to wrap this into the next one. That's Zap on the move. That's using the mobile app. We know that mobile is where it's going. More and more and more searches, purchases, things are happening in the mobile world. If you read the news, all these companies are fighting to get their mobile app right. Zap updated theirs last month for us and got that going. So let's go to the mobile app, and I want you to show me if we use it as a tool, because basically it's 80% of the desktop. Can we say that?
Yes.
So if I use it as a tool, like it's a hammer or a screw gun, instead of using my hand, I can use a tool. How do I wake up, use that, and I want you to show the cool functions, how I can make those decisions and pull off tasks just by following what's in there.
Yeah, so obviously, like Dan says, this thing's always in our hand or very close to us. Unfortunately, the laptop or tablet aren't, because we're on the run. We're running here, whether it's work or family. We're always running somewhere. So the fact is that we can use the app, like Dan said, as a tool to help us run our business, to help analyze Zap scores, to know if someone just asked a question about a house while we're just leaving another showing. So I'm going to go live and just show you some of these pieces and how easy it is to use. So when I hit this light blue Zap app, and by the way, like Dan said, that there is a brand new Zap app, so I strongly suggest that you make sure that you have the latest version of it. So either update it or delete it and reinstall the new one. So it's got a lot more features and will in the future as well.
So what do we start with there? What's that screen?
So when I just log in, very simply, my tasks show up. So these are true bodies in my database, contacts or clients, that are asking questions about houses or wanting to see houses. So I start with that. If I have not dealt with either one of those folks, I better, because they truly asked a question about a house. And I have notifications on the left-hand side. I have my follow-ups on the right-hand side. So there's just a menu right below the blue at the top that that is kind of telling me who needs a contact from me initially. So that's kind of our one of those first steps as well. And when we talk about the 790 people in my desktop version that I just saw, well, there are 790 contacts in my app as well, because they just mirror each other. So if at the very bottom you're going to see a menu across that says dashboard, the second one is contacts. If I very simply click that contacts button, this will mirror the same screen that I just saw, ranking my folks by Zap score. So I can be on the run, not attached to my laptop or my desktop, and just simply scroll down through here and do the same analyzation. Who do I need to talk to? Like, why is Sarah a very high Zap score? Well, I better figure it out.
Right? So if you select her, where?
Yeah, so I can click Sarah. And I can
That's
start,
where I wanted you to go. I love this bottom piece here.
Yeah, so I can actually, reach out to Sarah, and I can, I'm at the very top again along the menu where it says details. The second one is activity. Well, here's 7 saved homes. Sarah did not have to reach out to me and tell me she saved 7 homes, but I certainly am seeing them. Anything from saved searches to recently viewed. So everything she's doing is is right there for me to see. So when I've actually if I look at that and go, oh man, I need to reach out to Sarah, the fact that the piece I love, and obviously Dan's excited about it, is the menu at the very bottom, the blue, is right from the app, right while I've looked at Sarah's activity and know what I need to talk to her about. I can call, email, or text her right from the app.
And it's right there. You just push call. I'm in the mood to call, man. Boom, I make the phone call. I'm in the mood. Hey, so let me send a quick text. Yeah, this is the cool thing, folks.
I could literally call her right now, and it would actually track in her history that I called her Wednesday at 1:30.
Sometimes you're just in the right mood to make that call, and you could be sitting there waiting for an appointment to do something, and voila. Now, here's a question Karen had. Can we recommend a search from the mobile app?
You know what? This is our version of the mobile app. The consumers can actually set up their own search from your branded ERA mobile app. So you guys all have an ERA branded mobile app that you can share. So I'll actually go back to my phone real quick. Sorry, buddy. But if I bring up Sarah, an easy way for you guys to share your ERA branded mobile app, they can look for a house on it. In the upper right-hand corner, when I've pulled up Sarah's profile, you'll see 3 little dots. If I just simply click on those 3 little dots, you will see that I could send a welcome email or ask for a review. But there are 2 options right below that where I can send a link to my personally branded mobile app via email or text. So that's how I share that app, so they can look for a house, but it will be branded to me. So once I share that, they can actually easily set up listing alerts and set up a search on that ERA mobile app.
Cool.
So it's not actually done here because this piece right here is not connected to the MLS per se, but our ERA mobile app is.
Okay, I want to get to the Q&A before we run out of time because there's a couple questions I want to throw at you. One is, how can you sign into the app without having to always put your username and password in?
This app is designed to actually fix that. You stay active for a longer period. And I will tell you that I'm an advocate for thumbprint.
Yes.
And they are working on that. Of course, that's always a security thing. So that is something that I know they're doing some work on. So, but once you type it in once, mine will stay active. Because especially if you're in it every day, there's a certain period if I'm not active, it will log me out.
Okay, another question. How do you show Zap reviews that you're getting? You get good Zap reviews. Is there a way to get those over to your Facebook business page?
So, I would just encourage you to share your website on Facebook. So you have a URL that you can share onto Facebook from the My Website page. Simply say, check out my reviews. Soon as they soon as they brought up your website, they will see your stars, and if they scroll down just a little bit, they'll see your reviews.
So I'm not going to be able to have that hit my Facebook page reviews that they see.
Yeah, no, that's separate.
I'd have
but
to
I would just share my website and say, check out my reviews on website. I got a new review type thing.
Or again, use it as an opportunity for contact. If someone was on Zap and gave you a review, ask them. Would you like more information about real estate? I'd love for you to join my Facebook business page. And then say, when you first go on, would you give me that review there also so people understand how I deal with my clients?
Yeah, and real quick, we know that Facebook's, so there's a lot of talk going on to do more just with all the social media. It's just continue to do more and more.
Okay, here's one. When signed in to a contact, I like to view the saved homes that the contact has saved, and I'll add a note to one of them that's a saved home. When I add that note, does it send them anything? Does it send an email or anything if I'm adding the note?
If they saved it and I actually add a note, they will actually get that message. So it'll be kind of a message to them saying, hey, what did, like you could put on there, isn't the kitchen gorgeous? Or do you think this is something you may want to see? They will actually get that message back because then they can actually respond. So, we'd use it a lot for like suggestions. Like this is only 2 bedrooms, but man, like this, there's a huge den that could be a bedroom. Just different messages. They see it, they can respond back. So it's kind of like a message back and forth, but you're talking about one property.
Awesome. There you go. One last question. I saved this one for the end, and I understand where you're coming from. I'm excited when I watch you guys talk about Zap, but after this show, I find myself overwhelmed getting started.
Yeah.
So let's do the real simple. Someone who really wants to do this, but they find themselves overwhelmed. What is just a couple simple things, small bites to get started? What would you say?
Add contacts.
Okay, so let's not overwhelm. Add contacts. Add 1, add 2 a day. Let's not get overwhelmed. Right?
Yeah. We can do a bulk. So if you go to your MLS and start there and export and then import them in, and then start working them. So they came in relatively easy, but once they're in your system, start really figuring out who they are, what emails do they need a follow plan, do they need a listing alert, and work on those 30 a week. So if I bring over 200 from my MLS, having them in my system is great, but I need them in my system and I need to be working them. So I need to pick 25, whatever number works for you, 20 to 30 a week, and figure out who they are, why are they there, and start working them properly. That would be the number one thing that I would suggest you to do.
Meg, you don't have to. If it updated, you should be fine. He asked if it updated, it should be fine. But if you're not seeing the new things, then I would just delete it completely and reinstall.
Yeah. If it didn't look like mine, it's just been a weird thing with some of the updates. I would delete it and just go look for it again, and you'll.
Still going to
populate. The other one's gone, so you'll only install the new one.
Still going to populate from your lap or from your desktop, so you'll be fine with all your contacts.
Correct.
Last question, and then we're going to be running out of time. Thank you guys for the engagement. This is awesome. So, should we be encouraging folks to leave reviews on Zillow also? Your opinion on that?
Yes. So, I'm not going to, because folks are looking on Zillow, folks are looking on Realtor, folks are looking on ERA, Facebook, Yelp. Without getting crazy, like, hey, leave me 10 reviews. Sometimes it's easier, like, hey, do this ERA one, and can you do a Zap one as well? Okay, next person. Hey, can you do this ERA one? Can you do a Yelp one?
Right.
And then a ERA one and a Zillow one. Then you get one person that's like, hey, send me a couple, whatever. Like, each one of your people, but, I'm not going to discourage you from doing anything where there could be a potential lead coming your way.
Okay, Z, ask the question. I'll have Wayne respond directly to you because we're running out of time. My opinion on that also is yes, spread out those reviews because you never know where the customer is going to come from. As long as they have penetration to the marketplace, you want to be reviewed so people know about you.
Yep.
Okay, save the date. Next month, next Zap-TV, April 11th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to be talking about the spring market. How do we use Zap to get ready to really have one heck of a selling market?
We're going to talk a lot about all of the seller pieces that we can use in Zap. So definitely stay, come in April and get ready to get some listings. So,
awesome. Well, guys, we're out of time. Thank you for all the engagement. For
fun.
my co-host
So much
Wayne
fun.
Weaver, I'm Dan Elzer. Thank you for watching Zap TV, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.